Welcome to the OCNN, the Ontario Conference News Network.
Instead of traditional news, the OCNN is your source for stories of hope, inspiration, and faith in action from Adventist churches all across Ontario.
Finally, some good news.
I'm Jackie.
And I'm Alvin. Here's what's making headlines this month on the OCNN.
So let's rev up to something truly unique. The church met the open road at Agape Adventist Church, and they had a church motorcycle blessing. This is an outreach where you have ministry meeting horsepower in the most unexpected way.
Riders from all walks of life came together at Agape Church, just not to show off their rides, but to receive prayer, blessing, and a reminder that God rides with us wherever we go.
Which is really comforting. And why don't we go right now to Chris Perrott to find out more.
I'm here with Andrea at the 16th annual Bike Blessing. Tell us a little bit more about it. How did you have the idea to get it all started?
I can't take the credit for having the idea, Dave Lawrence. This was his birth idea, his brainchild. And back then, he was actually a member here at our church. And the idea was to let them know that we care about them. God cares about them. And if you're not a rider, you have no idea the dangers out there on the road as a rider. So the idea was to give them a blessing and a safe covering for the start of the riding season. Maybe a few years in, we started acknowledging the fallen riders from the previous riding years. So we take a list of the names and we acknowledge them by a moment of silence. And the bikers really appreciate that.
How long have you been part of this?
Probably good on 10 years now. Haven't made it every year, but probably for about 10 years.
Anything stuck out for you as a good memory of being a part of this?
The best part was connecting with some of the other bikers, and you hear somebody that really accredited this blessing that we get today to his own safety on the road. He had to go down, and he said, if I don't know if I would have survived if it hadn't been for the blessing that we'd gotten earlier that year. So that was one of the most memorable pieces.
Amazing. That's amazing. Well, thanks so much for being here. I hope you guys have a great ride today. Let's see. It's not raining right now, so let's hope it stays up. Yeah. So thanks again. And as you can tell, I'm ready. So I may hop on a bike or probably not, but back to you in the studio.
When it comes to making a difference, the Ontario Conference of the Seventh-day Adventist Church is serious about serving beyond the church walls. With 180 churches across our province, our conference is constantly supporting and strengthening local efforts to meet real community needs.
And recently, that support took a major step forward. The Ontario Conference teamed up with ADRA Canada, that's the Adventist Development and Relief Agency, and our Compassion Ministries Department to launch a powerful new initiative aimed at training our pastors to become even more effective in community engagement.
And the training was led by a team of community specialists from Andrews University's Center for Community Change. This is a group that blends cutting-edge research with real-world strategies through practical workshops designed just for church leaders.
Our very own Pastor Sean Ellis sat down with members of the Center for Community Change, as well as one of the participating pastors, to find out how this initiative is already making an impact.
Thank you for the question. The reason why the seminary, the Seventh-day Adventist Theological Seminary at Andrews created the center was because for many years we have been very faithful to teach good theology. But the seminary want to complement this good teaching with how to connect, engage with our communities in every local church. So the seminary was very intentional to create the center to help our pastors, to lead our churches, to engage with our communities.
Awesome. Okay. And so now that you've established this, today we've had, actually it's a 2-day workshop. What were some of the highlights of what you were teaching today?
One of the most important things we teach is that no longer churches need to think of a communities as something they do as a secondary task. The community engagement becomes the engine that drives church. The aspects that we ask any ministry director, how's community involved in what you're doing in the church locally. And also we want to make sure that the pastors are not feeling they're doing more, but they actually feel that through the discipleship, they are learning to delegate and empower and create the opportunity for other people to serve, and they become not the leaders that do everything themselves, but they become the leaders that foster and facilitate the further growth through discipleship, and community involvement happens naturally.
So you're really creating agents of change who will create other agents of change.
Yes,
Awesome.
absolutely. That's the principle of the kingdom, isn't it?
What's the role that you're going to have with the Ontario Conference going forward?
Well, we want our pastors to go back to their community, to their church, and to let them know that we are called to serve our community in Jesus' name. And so for the next 12 months, we want our pastors, we're going to take them through this journey through Christ's method alone. We're going to socialize. We're going to sympathize. That means we're going to listen to our community. We're going to serve our community. That means we're going to get to know our community. We're going to know their needs, and we're going to make sure that we are meeting those needs. And then also we're going to win their confidence. And by doing these things, we are going to make sure that people are discipled for Christ. They know Christ. And so we have a 12-month mentoring program to support our pastors to be the pastor of their zip code.
I am here with Chris, pastor of the Kitchener Church in Ontario, and we're here at this workshop. I want to ask you two questions. The first one is, what have you learned that's going to transform either your ministry or how your church reaches out to the community?
Absolutely, great question. So it was just mentioned in there that in the seminary, a lot of the things that were taught were just for a time in the past. But now with the world that is changing, we have to change and modernize the way we approach the community. So should the church disappear from the community, will the community miss the church? Or vice versa, if the church disappear, will the community miss the church? If the community disappears, will the church miss the community? So it's just teaching us how we have to be community oriented. And if we're not connecting with the community as how Christ connects with the community, then we could become irrelevant.
So a lot of people would say that maybe don't go to church. They would say, well, what does that even matter? Why should you be reaching out to the community aside from the evangelistic part of people getting into the kingdom of God? What's the value?
Great point. So the value of our church and the community is a needs-based ministry, meaning the community has many needs. And if all we have to offer them is a sermon and potential baptism, then we're not hitting the core of their needs. And the main thing they taught just now was CMA, Christ method alone. So Christ, even before he started on the kingdom message, he's attending to feeding the people, healing them, and attending to their day-to-day struggles, because they need to know that the church cares the way Jesus cares. There's personal everyday need. Maybe they cannot pay their mortgages. Maybe there's no grocery at home. And what they really need is a church that attends to those core needs. And then once you build that friendship and they trust you, then they even will in turn ask, well, how can I get to know more about this Jesus Christ? Bible study, baptism, and we maintain the relationship even after baptism.
If you've ever wondered where the next generation of inventors and innovators are coming from, look no further than Crawford Adventist Academy's Peel campus. Their students recently hosted a science fair that was anything but ordinary, packed with creativity, curiosity, and some very impressive experiments.
So actually, that makes me curious. You look like the kind of guy when you were maybe a young one in elementary school. Did you ever blow anything up in science or set anything on fire?
No, I have not done that as of yet. How about yourself?
No, but maybe it's something we can look forward to.
Do it safely, though.
Absolutely.
Children, check with your parents first.
Definitely. These young minds demonstrated that science and faith can coexist when it comes to exploring God's creation. To see the energy, the excitement, and the brain power on full display, we sent our field reporter, Chris Perrott, to find out more.
So we're covering the science fair. Tell me your name.
I am Andrea Almeida in grade 4.
Great. And tell us a little bit more about your project.
My project is about which water purification method is cleaner to drink.
Great. And tell us, how did you come up with the idea for this project?
I came up with the idea because when I was little, I wanted to make my own water purification. So, yeah.
Great. And do you think having this kind of project will help benefit the world and your neighborhood?
I think it will help benefit the world and my neighborhood because I wanted to find out which one is cleanest so that for your immune systems. Yeah.
Great. Well, all the best of your science project today.
Thank you.
I'm here with Mr. Liu at the Crawford Adventist Academy, Peel campus. And Mr. Liu is one of the spearheads of this science fair of science projects that are happening here at the school. So, Mr. Liu, first tell us a little bit about these projects you have going on here today. And maybe how long did the kids have to put their projects together?
The kids had about a couple of months to put together their projects. And yeah, it's all the regular things like coming up with a problem and a hypothesis and doing some testing. And then drawing conclusions and what sort of improvements that can be made. So they really go through the scientific process, which is great learning for things like critical thinking and just having that kind of 21st century learning experience that will be beneficial to them later on in life and hopefully in the workplace as well. During that scientific process is in place and solidified and things like that are very important to us.
And when it comes to like being a Christian school, how do you mix God and science together? Especially when the thinkings of creation versus evolution and stuff like that. I understand you have some books here as well that kind of infuse God's principles.
So what's great about this is that it's actually baked into the curriculum. So we have here the Biodesign curriculum, which is sponsored by the NAD, the North American Division, School Division. So each of the lessons have a spiritual focus, so it'll have scriptures related to it, and then more controversial topics like the origins of humankind. It's approached from a biblical perspective and also a scientific perspective as well. We really wanted to focus on 21st century learning as one of our mandates for the school. So we applied for a grant, we're able to get the funds and then start allocating it towards more 21st century learning. So for example, this is called the Botley, which is a coding robot. And we use this for our K-2 curriculum. It's easy to use, like it has this remote control system where they can program algorithms into the robot and it can do a number of things, but basically it can go through mazes and the kids, if it's not working, they can debug it. And we try to give them that language as well at an early age and be able to sort out what's wrong and adjust their code and things like that. Now, after K-2, the program moves on to actual coding. So this is the code program that we're using. It's called Make Code, right? And it also comes with a piece of hardware called a microbit. So that's what you see on the screen there. And this is the hardware version of it. Okay, so this is basically a small computer. It has all the things that are necessary for a computer. It has a screen, these are LED lights. It has buttons, which are inputs. And then it also has these things called pins, which you can attach things like we have motors down there, servos, and buttons. And so what the kids can do is they can program based off of the block code and then attach or download these things to the microbit, which is like kind of like the brain of their operation, and they can create some really cool stuff.
My name is Janoy Low, and I'm in grade 7. I built this obstacle avoidance robot. What it does, it senses the books around it. It with this ultrasonic sensor at the front. Sometimes it doesn't work though, but it's supposed to back up, turn left. It's gonna go into the other books and stop.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for joining us and explaining all this stuff to us. And all the best today and continued success with the science.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
This is Chris Perot for OCNN News.
Staying with our young people, we turn now to a heartwarming story from the main campus of Crawford Adventist Academy, one that reminds us how even the smallest hands can make a big impact.
And helping those in need is a core part of the Adventist Church's mission. But what happens when the person in need is sitting quietly beside you, maybe too embarrassed or afraid to ask for help.
That's exactly what the junior school students at Crawford asked themselves, and they found an answer. With care and compassion and help of school administrators, they launched an anonymous food drive to support school families who had confidentially come forward requesting assistance. Here is Chris Perrott with more on this moving story.
And with Mrs. Chichester, she is the JK to 8 principal of the school here at Crawford on that side.
Yes, that's right.
So tell us about this food drive. How did the initiative started? Why did it come to be?
Okay, so one of the things for me, there has been this talk about food insecurity, the number of individuals who are actually going now to the food bank. And beyond that, I've been reading God's Word. And I believe as a Christian school, as Christians, we need to walk in Jesus' example. And I think the whole Bible speaks to, and Jesus talked about it himself. I'm here to set the captives free.
Right.
We are his hands, we are his feet. And I think this was an important initiative to show that we are actually following in Jesus' example.
And speaking of examples, like since you started the initiative, I mean, that ripple effect of the examples going to those kids,
Yes.
maybe they not fully understand, but they're
Yes.
getting a sense of understanding
Yes.
how important it is to give.
That's right. And it's found even within our philosophy as a school. We are preparing students for time and for eternity.
Hi, I'm here with Catherine Newell, who is a grade 8 teacher here at the school. Tell us a little bit about the program. What is your involvement with this food drive?
So we have asked the school, the students, to bring in food donations. You'll notice in the background, this is the junior high students. There's approximately 60 students. They're just kind of going through all of our donations and sorting them out in different categories. And so they're getting really involved in this.
I am here again to the food drive with
Elise. I'm in grade 4, and the most exciting part about this is helping people in need, and I like decorating the box.
And your name?
My name is Gabrielle Tenhue, and I'm in grade 4 E, and my teacher is Miss E, and the most exciting thing about this food drive is that I know that some people don't have any food, and that we can bring stuff to like help people need, and also that you never know the kindness that you put out to the world will always come back to you.
Tell me your name.
My name is Sophia Ellis, and I'm in grade 7.
Great. So tell us about the food drive and why you felt it was so important to participate in it.
I find it so important because we need to share food with other communities and help other people out.
So basically you're feeling that you're following the testimonies of Jesus and being a good Samaritan to others?
Yes.
Is anyone that, like, I know the food drive ended today, but if anyone wants to still contribute, how can they do so? How can they come and contribute to the food drive?
Okay, and that's a good question. They can call our office. They can speak with Natalie. Her name is Natalie Claudette. And our phone number at Crawford is 416-633-0090, extension 271. And they can reach out to Natalie and we will respond. And so even though the drive has been finished, we are still open to accepting foods that people are willing to donate.
Awesome.
What an incredible and creative way to meet the needs of others. And stay tuned as we will hear another touching story from Grandview Adventist Academy. So we'll be right back after this message.
Imagine a soldier in World War II predicting the future, not by luck, but by studying prophecies written over 2,500 years ago. His guide? A mysterious dream from an ancient king, recorded in the Bible. Explore what the soldier found in a free online Bible study that dives deep to uncover how ancient prophecy predicted world events and what it reveals about our future. History, mystery, destiny. all connected through prophecy. This isn't just history, it's your story. Are you ready to see what's next? Click the link in this YouTube channel to start your journey today.
Welcome back. So we want to take a moment to learn more about you, Alvin, and what you're doing when you're not here on the OCNN.
So when I'm not with the OCNN, I'm actually working together with you in the Plan Giving and Trust Services Department.
That's true. And how long have you been with us here at the conference?
So I've been here for a while, about 30 years and 20 years in the Plan Giving and Trust Services Department.
And yet he still looks 25, so you're doing something right.
You're very kind.
You're welcome. So could you share with our viewers a little bit about the services that our department offers?
So what we do is we give our members the opportunity to do their estate planning.
Right.
So if they need helps to get a will done or power of attorney documents done, we're able to facilitate that process for them and then send them off to a law office, which will help them complete the documents.
Now, I know from some of the church members who have contacted us, it can be somewhat intimidating, but you have a very calm and gentle demeanor. So how are you able to sort of help them through the steps?
So what we do is anybody that contacts us, our church members, we will actually send them documentation up front that contains all of the questions that we would ask them, that a lawyer would ask them, and it's in plain English, so they're able to understand it. And of course, if they have any questions, they can always give us a phone call.
And it's easy to have this process completed because I've actually worked with Alvin to have our family's documents done. Now, I know you mentioned that the service is for our church members.
Yes.
So what if someone's watching who may not be a church member?
So the first thing is we want them to become a church member.
Sounds
but
good.
What we have also done, if there's individuals that are not members of the Seventh-day Adventist Church in Ontario, they've called us and we've actually sent out our materials to them that they can use to look over. We've answered a few questions, but unfortunately, because of the way the documents are set up through the process, we can only get those done for our church members, but we're willing to have a discussion with anyone.
Okay, that's pretty awesome. So we know that graduation season has just wrapped up. And I understand that you were recently at a school where they benefited from the offering that we provide through Plan Giving and Trust Services. Can you share with us and with our viewers a little bit more about this story?
Absolutely, I'd be happy to. So many years ago, I came in contact with one of our church members, a mom, and she really wanted to make sure that her children got a Christian education.
Right.
And she did the best that she could, and unfortunately, life was not easy for her. And she was struggling. But the school and the church stepped up, and they were able to make an accommodation so that her girls could attend Adventist education.
Nice.
And so when she did her estate planning, she wanted to make sure that she remembered Christian education.
Wow.
And when she passed, there was a gift in her will for Christian education. But when the story was shared with the administration of the conference, and they heard what had happened, they said the gift that she's left for Christian education has to go back to the school that was so important to her and her family. And that's exactly what happened. And I went to that school, Grandview Adventist Academy, and I was able to give them a check for over $11,000 on behalf of that mom.
Amazing.
That wanted to make sure that how God had blessed her, she was able to pass that blessing on to other kids to use.
So it's like passing the legacy of faith.
Absolutely.
To another generation.
Absolutely.
To be able to bless them.
Yes.
Well, that is truly a touching story. And I'm sure that the donation was appreciated very much by the school.
It was.
So why don't we hear from the interim principal, Mr. Thomas, just to hear his reaction upon receiving this donation.
Oh, this was a great surprise because we had just finished our during our graduation exercise, Mr. Ram brought us this check, and it's a check of over $11,000. which is something good that we're getting for our school, Grandview Adventist Academy, where in Mount Hope, which is close to Hamilton, and we need this funds because we need some money to build fencing. We don't have fencing, and so we'll have to use this funds to build our fence and improve our kitchen facilities that we have there. So this is something that will help us a lot. Thank you very much to the conference, and whoever donated this, thank you so much for donating this because we need these funds. Please think about us more often. Thank you.
And if you'd like to learn more about what we do or arrange for a seminar at your church, why don't you give us a call at the number on the screen? We look forward to hearing from you and to serving you.
Thanks for watching the Ontario Conference News Network. We're a monthly program, so be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel so you do not miss an episode.
So we want you to stay connected to the Ontario Conference's weekly happenings. So if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to our newsletter. And you can do so by scanning the QR code or clicking on the link at the bottom of the screen or going to our website so that you can sign up. And we look forward to connecting with you.
As a caring community, we invite you to share your prayer requests with us. You can submit them through our website. You can come in person, and they will be placed in this box right here. Our dedicated team will keep you in their prayers.
And if you're interested in learning more about us, we warmly welcome you to visit one of our 180 churches across Ontario.
Remember, the Bible says in Jeremiah 29:11 that God has a plan for you. To find out what that is, use the church locator on our website or the link in the channel to find a congregation near you. Come journey with us.
We look forward to connecting with you. So take care and God bless.
Finally, some good news. I'm Jackie. What? I'm Jackie. Well, who are you?
I'm Alvin.
Well, then let's continue. Here's what's making headlines this month on the OCNN.